next two major projects, we're going to be creating a character that has feminine characteristics and then another character that has masculine characteristics. Both characters have to start out with basic measurements. The following video is going to teach you step by step basic measurements. You need to do this lightly. If you do not draw the following directions lightly, you're going to see lines through your character. On my main ones that I've done, I did everything nice and light so where you don't see ghost lines and erasing lines. If your face comes out this heavy, you're going to have awkward ghost lines and erasing lines throughout your work. My paper isn't all the way in my clipboard because I'm trying to make sure I have an eye on the top and bottom edge, because I'm about to look for the center of the paper. Put your finger on what you would think is the center of the paper with kind of equal space above and below and to the left and to the right. Now, above your finger, skip some space, about 1/2 inch, and you're going to do a level 2 pressure dot. I'm going to do a pretty heavy pressure dot so that it actually shows up on the camera. I've zoomed in a good bit. We are about to create a cross with this dot, but I need it to be a certain type of measurement. Place your ruler horizontally on your paper and match the number 2 directly to the dot. Now gently slide a little bit to the left to where the line for the 2 is just a little bit to the left of the dot now. We are about to draw a line. You're going to draw this line lightly. I'm going to draw this line heavy. From the 0, draw a line to the 4. And then a little bit past the 4. I have something that looks like this now. Check to make sure that this is a horizontal line and that it's totally parallel to the bottom of the paper and not going at an angle. Now you're going to turn your paper long ways, and we're going to repeat this step again. I've zoomed in so that we can see the numbers on my ruler. We now have a vertical line. We are going to line our ruler up horizontally and match the dot to the 2. Make sure that you really see a 90-degree angle here. Don't have your ruler going this way or that way. You want to line it up where you can see a nice 90-degree angle kind of cross going on. Just like we did with the previous step, you're going to slide the ruler to the left slightly to where the dot is now a little bit on the right side of the 2. Then you're going to do this lightly, or you're going to have ghost lines later when you try to erase this. I'm going to draw a line from the 0 to the 4 and then a little bit past the 4 line. If your dot is dead in the center, that's even better. Okay. The cross that we've just made is actually about to become a circle. We're going to use loose and sketchy light lines to create arcs in between this vertical and horizontal line. Because I'm left-handed, I'm going to be going this way. If you're right-handed, you're going to be going, see how my wrist curves like this? You're going to be turning the paper and curving out arcs this way. I want you to notice that whenever I start to connect these, I don't do it all in one sweep, okay? You need to be doing this in gentle, little, light, sketchy lines and slowly curve both sides until they meet. If you were right-handed, you needed to use the curve of your wrist and start with this one. Because I'm left-handed, I'm doing this side, then I'm turning my paper and gently, I'm not doing this all in one sweep, loose little sketchy lines. Turning my paper again to take advantage of the natural curve of my wrist, gently growing out and away these lines until they meet, turning my paper again. There we go. Now our paper is going up and down. For the next couple of steps, you need to turn it long ways. I'm about to zoom in to this area right here, but know that when I zoom in, my paper is now going long ways. We are about to grow this line out past the circle. A common mistake that I see students do is they accidentally grow this line out to the side that has less space. We want to make sure that whenever we're about to grow this line out and away, it's toward the side that has more space. There's more space over here. The line is about to grow out and away this way. Line your ruler back up with this horizontal line. Our paper is now going horizontal, so now this is the horizontal line. Line your ruler back up and then gently follow the line to where when we grow this line out, it stays straight. It goes along with the line that's already there and away. It needs to look completely straight. Hold your ruler down. We're going to go from the 0 to the 1 and then past the 1 to the halfway point. We are growing a line that is 1 inch and a half to the halfway line that's in between the 1 and the 2. We grew a line that was 1 and a half inch out and away from our circle. At the end of this line, you're going to create another vertical line. I'm just kind of sketching it out. Have it kind of equal on both sides. And I would say that this line needs to be either exactly 2 inches or almost 2 inches. Then you're going to make a very shallow little curve out and away from it. This is our chin. I know it doesn't look like it now. Our face is sideways, but that's our chin. Currently your paper has been going long ways. It's time to turn it back vertical. This horizontal line right here is kind of our cheekbones. We need to connect our chin into our cheekbones. Now, the common misconception that students think I'm doing is they think I'm connecting the chin to here. I'm not connecting it to here. I'm connecting the chin to this horizontal line, and on this side, that horizontal line. So when I start sketching, I'm sketching down, and then I'm going to the chin and I'm curving up, sketching down, curving up towards it, sketching down, curving up towards it. On this side, I'm sketching down some, and then I go to the chin, curve up towards, I'm aiming towards the line. I'm sketching down and kind of aiming towards this line now. Then I'll revisit this side, aim towards this one, and then I have them meet. I know it's been bothering many of you. We can finally get rid of some of these lines. The line that we're not allowed to get rid of, though, is this vertical one. So we can get rid of this horizontal line that's going through our chin. I can erase that out. I can get rid of this horizontal line, which was the very first line that we laid down. Yes, I can get rid of the dot too. I'm done with that. I can also get rid of the bottom part of this circle. I'm getting rid of the bottom part of this circle. We kept that vertical line for a reason. Get your ruler back out and lay it vertical on your paper. And then match it to the vertical line that's going through your person's head. Match it to where the 0 is at the top of the head. Hold down your ruler and find the 3 a little bit either on the 3 or a little bit above it. Put a little gentle dot. I'm going to make my dot heavy so that it shows up on the camera. You should not make it so heavy. Turn your ruler horizontal now. Check to make sure that it's parallel with the bottom of the paper. You don't want it to be at an angle. You want parallel to the bottom of the paper. Once your ruler is parallel to the bottom of the paper, draw a light line. Don't do this heavy. I'm only doing this heavy so that it shows up on the video. Draw a light line through the dot. Yours should not be that heavy. Put your ruler back across your paper horizontally and line it up where the dot is above, not the 2. It needs to be above the 2.5. The line that is directly in between the 2 and the 3. The dot needs to be above the 2.5. Line it up all the way now. We might have to do a ruler check to make sure everyone's ruler's in the right spot before we do these next measurement lines. Now that our ruler is lined up, you're holding it down and you're going to do a little measurement dot above the 2, a little measurement point above the 1, a little measurement point above the 3, and a little measurement point above the 4. It's going to look something like that. We no longer need the vertical line, so just to clean things up, let's erase out the vertical line. We're going to create almonds. I need to make my dots darker. You should not. I'm only making them darker so that they show up on the camera. There's going to be an almond right here, and then we skip a space and an almond right here. So I'm drawing the above part of the almond, and the below part of the almond. above part of the almond. And the below part. If you're struggling with this, then turn your paper sideways and do it. I'm actually doing this sideways. I know on camera it looks like I'm down here. I'm on the side of my camera, and my paper right now is going long ways, and it makes these almonds a lot easier to do. The next step, though, I can't do sideways. I'm going to have to go on the other side of the camera to do. It's to add the catty corner, like diagonal U's. We're about to add a little, this is a regular letter U. We're going to add a kind of diagonal letter U to this. Don't do it so heavy though. We're going to do a little diagonal letter U. So I gotta go around the camera. On this one, there is don't do it heavy, a little diagonal letter U here that goes this way, and then it goes this way on the other one, another little diagonal letter U. And I might need to shape this up because they're not very symmetrical right now. I might need to move up this diagonal letter U to make them more symmetrical. It's time to sketch out a line for the nose. This is just a measurement line that we are going to erase. Please do this nice and light. The nose line is going to be a horizontal line, and it's going to go halfway between this line and the chin. So if you kind of figure, if you put one finger here and one there, about halfway seems to be about here. And so do it nice and light. I'm only doing mine this heavy so that it shows up on the camera. I have a line where my nose is going to be. We haven't sculpted it yet. Then we need to do our mouth line, which is about halfway between this line and the chin. So if you really isolate this area and try to figure out what's halfway, I want you to find halfway and then go a little bit up from it. This is the center of the mouth. We'll go a little bit up from it. And this is as wide as the center of our eyes. So if you draw an imaginary line from the center of your eye straight down, that's how wide that side of the mouth is. From the center of the line straight down. I need to take a little bit off right here. Let's create a box. We call this the nose box, and it's going to help us figure out where our eyebrows go as well. Gently draw up from the line. We know how wide this line is because it is as wide as the edges of our eyes now. And then continue the line up and through, and that's going to tell us later where our eyebrows are. We kept this line here because it tells us where the ears start. Now later you might have a character where their hair goes over their ears and you just end up erasing their ears out later. But for now, the top of your ear actually starts at the corner of your eye where this line is. And it ends where if you draw an imaginary line from your nose out to the side of the paper and hold it, that's where the ear ends. And it's kind of like a long stretched out letter C. And on the other side, if we trace an imaginary line from the nose all the way out, you know where the ear ends. It starts at the center eye line, backwards letter, long stretched out C. bring this one down a little more. I think that that's it. I think that that's as far as we can go. This is just the basic generic measurements of a face. We have not made it look masculine or feminine yet.